Hello everyone, welcome back to Gentoo Rescue. Last episode, I made it out of the Mjolnir area, I think, is that right? That's why I'm back here? Yeah, I still haven't done all of the puzzles. I don't know what I think there wasn't a good way to, like, get to the ones I'm missing. Like, I can't get here to go there. And it seems like if I were here, I could just go up there, but I think I couldn't do that at the time? I don't know. What if I hit reset here? Could I get to that one? Yeah, I could. I guess at this step here, you could either go left or you could go up. But you can't really do both, because once you're here, you can't get to the other spot. And once you're here, you can't get to this spot either. So there's actually, this level is available to me, and I just didn't try it. Okay. Yes, so we're now faced with a seal, walrus, who needs to escape, and yet has nowhere to go, right? Isn't this just easy? Can't I do that? No, because I thought briefly that when I got to these penguins, I would stop and then hit this guy. But of course, you only stop when you hit like an animal you can control, not a goal area. Okay. So if I were to attack this seal, this walrus, he would be launched into the water, right? Yes. Okay. Doesn't really seem like the line. Is this anything? No. Well, yes. Almost, right? If I could do this, but have that last hammer swing launch the guy instead of just move him, I'd be in good shape. So, is that interesting, do you think? I don't think so. Well, maybe, because... No. What am I thinking? Well, right. I was thinking I could do this and then here, get to the right row. Right, but again, this doesn't... This gets the red penguin saved, but the red walrus doesn't get launched. So, okay, let's think about what the solution must look like if there is one. And I think I'm sort of getting the idea. The red penguin can only stop here if I put another animal here. And his move there must also launch the walrus at the same time. Because that's the only way I can get the walrus out, is by moving the red penguin. And the red penguin's last move has to be there. I guess if I had already launched the blue walrus and could place this guy here, that would be acceptable as well. I could then walk into him. But I don't think I can do that. This guy, I can't get him off the north wall. There's no way to push him down. So, the winning configuration needs this penguin here, the walrus here, and you here. So, I need to push this guy left. without first pushing him right. There we go. That's looking good. Almost. Now we're there. Okay, one extra level solved in this area. Oh, and I can get to this one by giving Blue the hammer. Smash. Well, I guess it seems as though we have to start this way so that I can get out without getting into the weather. Then what? Maybe something like this? Like this? This actually looks like it might almost be good. Because I can get him out of the weather. But I guess it gets this guy stranded in the weather, so maybe not. How can I get green into his goal circle? Not from the north. Well, even more constrained, I suppose. How do you get yellow into their gold circle? That has to come from the north. There's no way you can approach from the west or the south. And if you approach from the east, you can't avoid going out of bounds. If you had a hammer, you could, but it's green with the hammer, not yellow. So, yellow has to get to where green currently is. And I think he has to get there from the east, actually. Because if he comes from the west, in order to stop here, there'd have to be someone in this. And I can only get people out of that by hammering them out, but then when I do, the person with the hammer is stuck. So I think we need, like, yellow here. And to somehow get blue and green in here and then get them back out. And then once I've done that, I think we just put blue here and then have green wallop him out of the universe, right? So how do I get blue and green in here from this position? It doesn't look doable, right? I can get green there very easily, just bloop, like that, right? But blue gets stuck in the weather. And again, I can free him in various ways, but not without getting stuck. Right? So I can't send him to the weather. I have to get blue here somehow? But that looks quite impossible. I mean, of course, it's very easy to get blue there, right? I could just move yellow. But I need yellow to be in this area while this is all happening. Yeah, only hammers rescue you from the weather. Or at least of the things we know about so far, hammers are the only one that do that. Not missing any discoveries for this level. Have I made any false assumptions? How does yellow get to their goal? It has to be from the north. How do they get north of the goal? I don't think it can be from the west. It has to be from the east. Which means I need yellow standing here at a time when an animal is standing here. The obvious way to get an animal standing here is to have both blue and green in this area, but I suppose it's not the only. I could have an animal... I could have green get in behind someone, let's say yellow, and hammer him to that side. Green would stop here, yellow could come back. Maybe that's the idea. Can I work that out, at least? I just need to swap the order of green and yellow, actually, and the puzzle is, like, over. And can I do that? If I just did this? I think so, because now I can hammer blue out of the universe. Get in behind yellow. But now I'm going to hammer yellow. Okay, so, right. I said I finally found a way to get yellow where they're going. But the other constraint I had set for myself was that to win, yellow has to be here while blue is here. Right? So that I can hammer blue out. No, blue is here. Yes, yes, yes. Blue needs to be here. So this was the point at which... Yeah. Well... Oops. I meant to do this. Because now yellow can get out of the way, can't he? And I can put blue here. There we go. Okay. So there's 2 levels left unsolved in this area. Could I get... I don't know how I would even approach this one. I need some totally new tool. This one, in principle, if I could be standing here holding the hammer, I could get there, right? Did I solve this one? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So how could I be standing here with a hammer? I think that's easy, isn't it? Yeah. Propagation. Okay. Extra hammers. So what happens if red... No, that doesn't work. Yeah, so you can do that, and like that. I think this setup is basically saying green must move left here to win. Like, there's no other... Now, they don't have to do it, like, by themselves. We could have yellow standing here and red standing here. And yellow could hit red, who hits green, who cannonballs into gray. And that would match with the level title, Propagation, right? So maybe we want to set that up. Red here, yellow here, and green here. How could this be done? Well, maybe yellow out of the way. Yeah, that's not going to work. I could do this. And now these two are in the right order, but green's in the wrong place. What happened? Okay, sure. What happened when he picked up a new... Oh, when they... If they pick up an item while carrying an item, they throw away their old item. Okay, interesting. So, is that what that is what happened? Okay. So he just replaced his hammer with a hammer, but the net effect was that a hammer was thrown away. So if I could get back to this spot with green in the south, would I have won? No. Well... No. Because I couldn't get green to here. So, okay, how does green get here? He has to come from this tile, which means there has to be another penguin standing here at the time when green steps in to be hammered. How does that penguin get to its rightful place in this position? Right? Is it true that green has to be the one standing here? I think so, because this is one use only. And green has to get over here, so he has to be sent this way. So red has to be standing here. Ah, you can right... Okay, I didn't... Maybe I shouldn't even be trying to use the keyboard just because tab is so annoying. You can left-click to select and right-click to move. I'm only just now finding this out, even though it's on this menu here. I would have thought. Oh, I see. Only when I move the mouse. Cycle is also left-click? I don't understand. How is cycle left-click and select also left-click? Oh my god, scroll wheel is undo and redo? That's insane. I'm a keyboard boy, I guess. So obviously getting green here is very easy if that's your only constraint. The problem is that I have other constraints. You know, I wonder why this square is even here. Why doesn't green just start on this space and this be totally cut off? How is this useful to me? It doesn't have to be there for a reason, but generally speaking, in games like this, there aren't tiles that are just there for no reason. Every element of the puzzle has a purpose. I guess it would mean... One thing that I can do with this tile present that I couldn't with it absent is this. Right? Which would let me get red here if I wanted. I don't think that's good. Because once he's here, he can't go anywhere. If he moves left, he breaks the puzzle. If he moves down, he kills either himself or another penguin. He can't move up. And if he moves right, again, he kills himself or another penguin. So that's not an interesting thing to do, but it's a thing you can do. Of course, it also lets me escape like this, but I wouldn't want to do that. So green here, red here, yellow here. How does red get here? I mean, it has... The only way is if there's another penguin standing here, right? For example, green could be here, and red could be here, and red could move up. I guess I can do that, can't I? Right. The problem is now green is in the wrong place. So I need this whole same thing, but with red on the other side of green somehow. Like this? Now these two weirdos are lined up correctly. But there's no way for green to get back here with this setup, is there? Don't think so. So I think I might finally be seeing what this puzzle, this space is for. I need Really? Is this right? This can't be right. How does green get back to this square after red pushes him this way? Because we need red here somehow. I think red has to push him this way. And the only way I could see that is if somehow, like, yellow were here? But then yellow can't get to the other side of red, can he? die. All right. So, like, if I did this, I could get in place. But I can't have both red and yellow already in place over here when that happens, because I need one of them down here. Or here. Ah! Well, if one of them were here, maybe, and green were here, he could bounce off them and go up, and then the two of them could work this out. Yellow could be standing here, and red could be here. Red pushes yellow up as the final step, and then yellow... Okay. That looks good. How do I make that happen? I need red here. And yellow here? Can I do that? How does yellow get here? It's funny, if I could... This is the starting position of the puzzle, and if I could just teleport yellow from here to here, the puzzle would be over. That's all I need to accomplish, is getting this stupid penguin to stop sliding for a second and waddle a bit. I mean, obviously, I'd still have to click a few buttons, but the puzzle would be easy to solve at that point. So, okay, how do I ever get a penguin to stop on this square? I have to get green to stop there first. Right? I think that's true. Because if I didn't have green stopping there first, it would mean I would have to somehow get one of the hammer penguins to stop there, and they can't do it unless there's someone else already there. So I have to get green to this square, which I can do. For example, like that. And then I could get... Well, how do I get someone up here, though? Because if I hit him this way, he leaves prematurely. The puzzle is no longer solvable. So I need someone standing here to knock him down, while red is here. So I have to get yellow back to where he started, somehow. Oh, why can't I just leave him there? Because I need him here to stop green from sliding off the edge, don't I? Maybe not. Maybe... If I could get green and red to swap places, green could go up and be stopped by yellow and then hammered back down. But I can't get green past red. Well, can I do this? I don't think so. But it's an idea, I guess. Obviously, red and yellow are in their goals now, but that's not what I want. I want both of them to be to the right by 1. And... I mean... I can do this. And red gets out, and these two are lined up for happiness, if only I could get green back to here somehow. But how does red get to this space without killing green? He can't. Can he? Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. If a penguin with a hammer ever stands on the red circle before I'm ready to win the game, that's a defeat condition, right? There's no way I can win from here. Because red will have to move in order to win. And whichever way he goes, he will kill at least one penguin. Or if he goes left, he'll just make it impossible for green to win. And impossible for himself to win, too. So this is a dead end. We cannot progress from here. It seemed like I was working out a chain of dependencies that would eventually... Like, I need to do A, and in order to do A, I need to do B, and so on. I was getting to, like, E or F or something. I couldn't figure out how to solve that thing. So... I think I still need yellow here. Well, on one of these two squares. I need yellow to have access to this square. Because... Why again? It's like, because I want the green guy to go up to here and then get hammered down. By whom? I need someone standing here so green can get to this space. But obviously this doesn't work because I can't get these guys lined up properly. But I had some idea that involved green going from here to here. Yeah, yellow hammering green down while red is standing here would be productive, I think. But I can't accomplish that. Alright, I don't see how. Because if green were here, and red were here, just swap-a-rooney these two. Then green could go to here. Yellow could punch him down. Green could go... Why do I want to punch him down? So that yellow can be standing on this space for red to push him out of. I think that has to be the general idea, is if I could just swap these two, I think I would have it. So how do I swap them? Can I? Well, yes, but not without breaking some other properties I need. Right? I could, I was doing like this, right? Now they're swapped. But I can't get yellow back here. And I could do this. Everyone but red is happy. But red can never become happy from this position. Alright. And if green tries going up... Wait a minute, is this just easy? Am I stupid? They're swapped. No, that's because I already put yellow over here. With yellow here... So, okay. Suppose that yellow came down to this row. Is the puzzle still solvable? If yellow were here, that's fine. He can get to this space. This is the key space I need yellow on. If yellow goes to here, can I ever win? Obviously, he has to go there at the very end, but before that, I don't think so. So how, then, is green ever getting here if yellow can't go there? It has to be by coming out from the south, which is why I want these two to swap. But I can't get them to swap. Okay, give me some hints. Yeah, I got that. I know what the final move must be. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. That was very easy. I got that a long time ago. Yellow has no adjacent wall, so only green can reach it first. Yes, I said that. Then it must stay occupied for the rest of the puzzle. That's an interesting way to phrase it. Because I don't think that's strictly true. Like, maybe it is true on the actual solution. But you could imagine a puzzle like this, where it's possible for green to enter there, and then leave, and then re-enter. But I guess that maybe isn't possible here, in which case, yes, it would have to stay occupied the whole time. So if once green gets here, we can't ever empty this space. Does that conflict with what I was trying to do? Because I imagine green coming up to here, getting punched down, and then yellow going like this. But he was going to do that by being punched by red. So I think all of the stuff I've built up so far fits with that clue. I don't think that contradicts anything I've done. My problem is how to get green here. So, okay, let's keep looking. Yeah, must... Okay. Must reach red with an up. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. Which needs help from red. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. After green helps others reach yellow. Others is an interesting word. I still think green has to approach with up. Is that in one of the hints? It's not, but I think it's true. I can't let yellow go over here until we're ready to win. So green has to get to this space. While red is over here. That would all be fine. Okay. Really? An important intermediate state is having yellow above red above green, all on the yellow column. Well, that I haven't really... Why is that interesting? That seems to conflict what I've been trying to do. I was imagining red over here somehow. After we get yellow on this space. Then green moving here. Then red moving here. But it's saying you can't do that. Okay, well that's certainly interesting. Yellow above red above green. So yellow has to be here, which I still sort of think we can't let him leave this area then. But I guess, okay, we could do this, maybe. So this is the intermediate state they were talking about. And indeed, this has achieved the swap that I wanted. Why did that achieve that? So I can solve the puzzle now, but I want to understand why that was a useful intermediate state that I could have seen. I guess I didn't, for some reason, ever think about sending red all the way up there, because my goal was to get him over here. Although it turns out that's wrong too, I think. Huh. Okay. So green escapes. Yellow takes his place here. Green goes back to here. Interesting. Show me the last hint, actually. Just... Okay, well, it's very detailed. Okay. So I have solved all the puzzles in this area, except for this one, which I do not know any tools to allow me to reach. We have learned all the powers of Mjolnir, except for some of the ones we don't have yet. Hey, this guy has a spring! Whoop. He bounced off the wall. Boing. Land one tile away from an obstacle. Okay. And alternatively, I could kill this guy for no good reason. I mean, it's not no good reason, I guess. It would let me kill everyone. Alright, but let's learn about moonwalking. There's so much. Okay, skipping. Yeah, so we're learning about springs, and you bounce off and go one back. Now if we try to go this way, we're stuck. We can never win. So we have to do this without getting the spring, like so. Retrograde. So I think I mentioned in the previous video that I had watched someone play some of this. And I don't think I ever saw any or many of the Mjolnir puzzles. They went here first. So I've seen this one, but I don't think I saw like any of the... I don't remember the answer at all. But I'm at least somewhat familiar with springs. How do you win? The only way to win, so if you do that, you just bounce off, is to get to here and walk into the wall, I assume. How do you get to here? It seems impossible. But must not be. Well, moving left or right from here is a clear dead end, and down is you're literally dead. So up is the only possible start. Then if you go right, I mean, you can wind up... Wait, what? Right, you can't really go anywhere. New entry. An animal can move backwards. Sorry, what do you mean by that? Just by walking into a wall, you mean, kind of? While you have a spring? Anyway, if you go right, I think you're kind of dead. You can't get anywhere from here. Oh, wait a minute. So, I said the only way to win is by standing here and moving left. But I guess you could also win if you could stand here or here and move left? Is that possible? So now, if I move right, I assume I'll fall in the water? Yes, it's single use and you can't stop on it. But I can just go left here and win. Okay, so I have to get to here. Clearly. But if I'm here with a spring, I'm just dead. Because if I need to crack this wall open twice before I crack this wall open at all, right? Like I have to move into this wall, it breaks. That would bounce me off into this wall, which breaks. Bounce me off in... Oh, wait, maybe that would be fine? I think it would be fine. So to get here with a spring, though, I need to bounce off of this wall. So I have to go get the spring in this way. Twist. I want to know what would happen if yellow were standing here with a spring and blue were here and yellow moved left. Would you bounce off of blue? I think so. It wouldn't kill blue like if you had a hammer, I think. So what if... You know, the problem is I can't get there so easily. I want to find out what would happen. Okay, this is a similar way of finding out, right? Walk into yellow, you bounce off. Okay. So that seems to be the only way for yellow to escape. Well, no. If yellow didn't have the spring, he could just go here and then there. So who has the spring in the final solution? Could it be blue? I don't think so, because there's no way for him to leave this cell. If he goes up here... Well, wait. If he collects... What? Okay. One of them has to collect the spring as, like, the first move, I think. Like, yes, technically I can move blue here. But he either has to come back and get the spring, or yellow has to get the spring next. So the first move has to be one of them collecting the spring. And if it's blue collecting the spring, I think we just lose. Because if he goes up or down, he makes no progress. If he moves left... I don't think he can ever escape. Right? Well, what if... Maybe he could, because we could do this. No, okay, there's a simpler answer to this question. We talked about how there were two ways for yellow to escape, but there's only one way for blue to escape. He can't move... He can't, like... slide into this on his own. He needs to have the spring and get bounced into it. And the only way he could do that is if yellow were standing here without the spring. And then yellow would just walk into blue and leave. So, okay, blue gets the spring. Even though I was just saying that that can't possibly lead to a solution. It's clearly the only thing that can. Having done this, blue only has one next move, because up, right, or down all leave him in the same place. So these must be, I can't be wrong about this, surely. These must be the first two steps in the solution. So how do we get yellow to where blue currently is? Well, this is an easy way. But then, if we did that, blue could never escape. So I think yellow has to go here somehow. Yeah. An animal will be launched if caught in an infinite loop. So I think we have to get to at least here. And then... But if blue comes down here, he's cooked, isn't he? What is he supposed to do? If yellow were standing here, he still wouldn't be getting out. Ah, this. I'm not sure what made me finally see that, but it suddenly became crystal clear in my mind. What next? We could go pick up the spring and solve this level, or we could go up here. Also, does that say C, or is it just some weird icon? It's a gate. The gate is not in my journal. This also looks like a C, so this is like a button to remotely open a gate or something, maybe? Recoil. Well, at some point, blue is going to have to go up. It doesn't necessarily have to be now, but that's the only way he can make any progress. Even if I somehow got green here, which is impossible, blue bouncing into him would just send him back to this space. So how does green get here? Okay, what does the final solution look like? It's kind of hard to imagine. This is a broken wall, right? Yeah. Okay, so I guess green has to do that, and blue... Could blue ever be standing here? He could if we could get green here, but I was just saying that's impossible. Because then I could walk into him and bounce back. And even if blue were here, he wouldn't be able to go anywhere productive afterward. Well, yeah, no, he wouldn't. Sorry, I think I got confused. If I could get green here and blue on one of these tiles, I could walk into green, bounce off, then from here be in position to go up. But before doing that, green could bump into you, go up and over, then blue comes in. So that would be a possible solution state, or an end position that would lead to a solution, but I don't know if it's possible to get to that position. How would I get green here? Well, I said it's impossible, but it doesn't... This was a false premise. If blue were standing here, we could bounce into him, but of course he can't be. Because blue has a spring. He couldn't stop on one of these squares. Well, he could be, I guess. If we could get green here, for example, we could walk in... I don't know. That doesn't make sense. But also, if blue were here, or here rather, green could approach him from the east, stop here. Blue pushes off of him to here, then green goes up and over, and blue comes up. So that seems promising. So, but maybe like this? That gets blue to this space, which I think is good. Is this what I wanted? I think it's the opposite of what I... No, I wanted something like this. Right? I wanted these two swapped. Like this. Okay. I still don't have a spring. But my only possible next move is to acquire one. Interesting, it doesn't lock me in until I actually stop there. Obviously on this like world select puzzle, that's not super important, but it might be on a future real puzzle. Lean. Everyone has springs except green. I mean, these nerds, the only way they can possibly win is if another penguin is north of them, right? And they just bonk into it. And blue, which I think means they can't possibly make any other moves, right? Like, that never accomplishes anything. This never accomplishes anything. So I think blue also has no possible starting moves, right? So the only starting move you could possibly make is this one. Okay. And still no one has any moves but green. And at this point, still no one but green can do anything. And now no one can do anything except blue. So you must do this next, right? Then you could do this. Well, I haven't proven that this is what you should do, but you could. I think you have to, though, because this rescues yellow, and it doesn't even cost you anything, so you can get back to this position if you want. So now, and now it's simple. Green comes back up here to buffer blue so he can block for red. And then green gets back out of the way so blue can go home. Oops, I meant to go that way. Ah, you don't have to stand on it, like, to keep it open. You just have to press the button. Buttons, gates, and traps. So, letters open and close. They are toggles for objects labeled with that letter. Okay, so now I have green. Which means I can get to this one. Escort. Well, this is the only possible starting move. So I guess the joke is, first of all, you have to swap these two. And then yellow has to kind of be providing a constant wall for blue to walk into. We get yellow to the right of blue. He then pushes off of blue to go one further right, and then blue follows, and we repeat. Okay. So, I think... Well, wait a minute. What do I think? Don't we have to get blue to the other side of yellow? Which means blue has to be out in this area? How do we accomplish that? Oh, right, like this. Well, sort of. Yeah, because now I can do this to swap their order. This is not looking right. Because blue can get out, but yellow can't get to his left. Yellow needs blue here to get out. Now, I have not solved the puzzle at all. I have the opposite of a solution. I haven't swapped their orders. I left them the same. Okay. I forgot what my goal was, it would seem. But this is easy now. Now they have swapped orders. There we go. So I could do this and solve the level. But could I not do some more puzzles first? I think so. I don't know how to do this one. But I can do Omega. Or I can attempt Omega anyway. So this guy needs to escape, but there's no open water. So the only thing he can do to escape is get himself trapped in a loop. The only place you could do that would be here. So he has to get there. Which means he has to get here while this wall is still around. Is that hard for some reason? Probably. Okay, I can't break these walls. Well, I could break this one. So oh, I suppose I could. No, I can't do this because I can't just stop on that, right? This gets me to reciprocity. Huh. What could you ever do that would lead you to an infinite loop? You just get stuck in weather. Where could you stand that there would be an infinite loop? Well, okay. I mean, hang on. Remind me about launching? What is that under here, maybe? They fling their item when picking up a new one, not when getting launched. Like, because the only thing I can think is if I somehow could get both animals into this area, and have them move somehow, he could go back and forth. But even as I say that, I'm realizing, no, there's another answer. If green were, let's say, here, and blue were under him, like here, he could be slingshotted away. I can accomplish that actually here, but then green won't be able to escape, right? I could do this, and then green is toast. So if I could just do that same thing one square further left somehow, which... Well... Is that anything? I don't think so. It's kind of weird, actually, these little thingies on the edges. They're almost like just the same as if you just imagined an impenetrable wall here, right? I guess they're not really the same. In terms of a spring, it means you can stop on this square. It's like a wall that you stop at instead of bouncing off of, in a way. Whereas for normal penguins, it's a wall that kills you. Interesting. For animals without springs, rather. So, I mean, I could do this and die. That's cool. Again, here we are in the closest thing I've found to a win condition, which doesn't work at all. Let me go up there and stop. So I have to get... Okay, let's talk about sequencing. In what order must things happen? The seal, walrus, must be launched at a time when the penguin is around. And in particular, by around, I mean, like, he can't be on the edge of the map. He can't be in his win condition. Because if he is, there's nowhere the walrus can stand to get an infinite loop. So, what that means is that when it's time for the penguin to win, there will be no walrus on the field anywhere. Which means that he must be standing in one of these two cells when the walrus launches himself. Right? I think it's going to be this one, but maybe you could use this one somehow. If we could get the walrus here. You could go back and forth like this. In fact, this little cutout is sort of suggestive of that in a way, isn't it? Because how could I ever get the penguin to stand on this space? Oh, it's easy. I would do this, okay? But if I do that, the seal can never leave his current space, right? There's nowhere he can ever go. Left is... Oops. Left is death. Right is neutral. Down is neutral. Up is neutral. So that can't be how we get to this space. Is there any other way green could get to this space? Maybe if the walrus were over here. But I think that has the same problems, and I can't even do it. Okay. So I think, actually, the penguin needs to be here when we win. And that means I need the walrus here. So my goal, I guess, is to get the walrus here. How do you do that? I don't know. He would need a penguin standing here or here to... Well, here wouldn't work because he'd already be in position. Here? Well, okay, so I guess the question is more, how do I get him to the top row at all? Because once he's on the top row, I can get the green penguin to the top row and push off of him. So how do I get the walrus to the top row? If the penguin gets out of the way, then the walrus pretty much just has this kind of double plus shape to navigate. And the penguin can't really interfere with it at all. So, okay, maybe he has to go stand there. Maybe that's an important step. I'm not sure how I would get from here to a win, but it at least changes what moves the walrus has available a little bit. He can get to here now. I don't think that helps. Like, we've already seen that I can kill this guy if I want. But that was easy. I found that out much earlier. It doesn't get us to a solution. Alright, let's look at some hints. Yeah, I know. I said this already. Well, needs help reaching that column. Yeah, I mean, I think it has to be in this column and not here. So this space, or maybe somehow this space, but I don't think this one. I think here. Yeah, of course. Well, okay. So they're actually telling me you can't launch this way. You have to have this guy standing in the middle here somehow, like in this space. He's dead. The weather got him. Must reach the same column. I think this hint number 2 is another one that's like, well, you could imagine solutions that don't satisfy that property. It's a hint that you could only give if you knew the solution, not one that you could derive on your way to the solution. Because it looks like, you know, if you could get the walrus here, you could win. I just noticed it makes a little, like, splash of particles there when you bump into a wall. From which tiles can the walrus get to this column without any help? I mean, this one, right? I've been trying to get him here. But if I could get him here, wouldn't I just win? Without having to get to this column? Did I misunderstand the clue? No. I don't think there are any other tiles where you can reach here without help. So we have to get here, which is, I think, what I've been trying to do. Yes, I know, I said that. Get it to the top row. Yeah, see that? That's what I've been struggling with. How do you do that? Use the penguin for help, clearly. I think so, anyway. But what can the penguin do that would help you? How could the penguin help you get to the top row? He would have to be in one of these two squares. And I can get into this one, that's fine. But then I can't get into this column without help from the penguin. I gotta get here. So with no help from the penguin, there's only two spaces I can end on, right? From here, up, down, and left get me nowhere. Right gets me here. From here, up, down, and right get me nowhere, and left gets me back here. So he can't get to the top row without help from the penguin. But how does the penguin help him? The penguin can't... Well, okay, the one square the penguin can get to that could change things would be this one, I guess. Or actually, wait a minute, this one. Oh, I think this is the idea. Now we're in Happy Town, right? Sort of. Yeah, because now I can do this. Well, something. I can... This is a breakthrough anyway. I'm not sure if it's the solution. Yeah, getting the penguin here allows the walrus some new moves, specifically that one. And then we can get here if we want. I'm not sure now is the time. Oh, actually, I gave a wrong answer earlier, didn't I? It asked from what tiles can the walrus get to this column without help, and I said this one. But actually, this one would be fine, too. Because he can do this, right? And that allows this. That's how I got here. Right, and now I can go close him in. I see. Not totally sure what I'm trying to accomplish here. I was trying to get to this space, but I don't really know how. Oh, I can close that again. Is that interesting? It would let me get to here, but I can already get to here, so I guess the answer is no. Well, I mean, not totally useless, because maybe I could get this guy. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. No. Oh, I can't... Right. It has to be the guy without the spring who gets there. No, because then he won't have the spring. So it has to be both of them. You first. I think. There we go. Maybe. Now you can get in. Does this help somehow? I don't think so. I need green here. Why is that hard? It seems easy. Green is there. Ah! There we go. Now we can try rebound. They both have springs. That's spooky. What would happen then? Okay, the one who's standing still just acts like anything, and the one with the spring still has a spring. It's been an hour and 20 minutes? I thought I started 20 minutes ago, man. What the hell? Okay, I guess rebound will have to wait till tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.